Hello, Faith United Methodist Church. It's your Pastoral Intern Vicki Wood. Good to see you. Some of you may have noticed, whether it was at Faith or in worship or on the website, perhaps even in Facebook, you've noticed mention of something called a Congregational Study, and you may be wondering, what on earth is that? Why should I be a part of it? Perhaps you remember a few weeks ago I gave a sermon asking, who is Faith United Methodist Church? Well, I wasn't just asking it because it sounded good in a sermon. I really want you to think about who we are and to answer the question and to challenge you to think about what we as a church can be. So that's where the Congregational Study comes in. Rather than me say who Faith United Methodist Church is, or any one person say, I want to hear from you, the church body, collectively. This is a time for us to gather together to ask questions like, who is faith? What are our key ministries? What are our strengths and our weaknesses? Are we actively living into the ministry that we claim to be doing? Are we living into our mission as Christian disciples? And if no to any of these questions, what can we do to change this? Where are places that Faith UMC can grow? And how can we achieve this together? All of this and more is part of Congregational Study. So, now that I've got your interest, perhaps you're wondering, how do I get involved? Great question. So the first way that you can get involved with doing the Congregational Study is by taking a survey. Now, if you're not already receiving the At Faith email from the church, I encourage you to go ahead and get it, because if you scroll down on the At Faith, you'll see a lovely section called the Congregational Study with Pastoral Intern Vicki Wood. Doesn't that sound exciting? Here you'll see a lot of the information that I've talked about in the video, but you'll also find this important section that leads us to 2 survey links. Now, one of these surveys is something called About Faith, and the other survey is called Church Demographics. All you need to do is click on these links and it will pull the survey up. You can do it on your iPhone, on your tablet, on your Android, or on your computer desktop. Also, if more than one person in your household is using the same computer, you can pull it up more than once. We just ask that you fill it out only once. So here you'll see what the 2 surveys look like, About Faith and Church Demographics. Now, Church Demographics is predominantly information about you. It's just some basics. We'd like to know a few things about you. If you're not comfortable with filling out any of these questions, you are welcome to skip it. The reason that we're asking these kinds of questions is that it allows us to get to know who's answering these questions a little bit better. Who makes up the family of Faith United Methodist Church? Now, before you get too worried, it's not a long series of questions, and they're not too hard, I don't think. As you scroll through, you'll see what some of these questions look like, and in case you're wondering, it is only 10 questions long. The way it works is pretty simple. You just click on whichever answer works for you. If it's a question that has a text box afterwards, you click on it and then you type in your text. Once you're done, you go down to the Done button, you click it, and you get this screen. Thank you for taking the survey. Good job, you did it. Now, the other survey is called About Faith UMC. This is more short answers rather than multiple choice. Here, we just want to know more about your thoughts and your feelings. You don't have to write a 30-page paper. You can write just a couple sentences, whatever works best for you. These are the same kind of questions we'll get into later with something called the Church Town Hall. You'll see questions like, if you could change one thing, what would it be? What is your favorite thing that faith does? What kind of ministries or type of worship experiences interest you? Again, what we're trying to do is learn a little bit more about you and about what the strengths and weaknesses are of the church from your perspective. These answers are anonymous, so don't worry if you're a little nervous about what to write. Your name won't be attached to them. Once you're done filling out the 9 questions, I know, 9 whopping questions. See, it's not going to take too long, I promise. Once you're done, you just click that done button again and you'll get the nice big thank you for taking this survey screen. Once again, you can take this on cell phones, tablets, and desktop computers. So that's it. That's all you have to do. We'll also have other information in the @faith email, but I'll get into that in just a second. So, you finished the surveys. Good job! Now you're wondering, what else can you do? We're going to have a series of town hall meetings via Zoom, since we can't meet in person in the church and have large numbers of people gather. We're going to have a series of about 5 weeks where there'll be Zoom sessions twice a week offered that you can join in on. Now, you are not required to go to all of these Zoom meetings. In fact, if you are only able to pop in on part of one, that's fine. We want to be able to hear from you more in depth. We'll have a series of different questions, different weeks, that we'll be asking the people in the Zoom meetings. Questions like, what do you think is faith's key strength? Or, what's one thing you wish faith did? Or maybe, what's one thing you hope faith doesn't stop doing? So be sure to be thinking about questions like that. We'll find a way to post those questions we'll have in the upcoming Zoom sessions, email to the church, on the Facebook page, or on the website itself. So you'll be able to take a look and see whether or not there are questions that super interest you. We do ask everyone that can join these Zoom meetings, please do. We want to hear from you, and your voice is important. Maybe you're not comfortable being on Zoom. Maybe you feel uncomfortable sharing your story in front of a large group of people. That's okay too. I don't want you to feel pressured. You're always welcome to give me a call in the office, and I'll be happy to talk to you one-on-one. If you're curious about the dates for these Zoom sessions, you'll see them on the @faith email, as well as listed on the website under the Announcements tab. We'll also be sure to mention the upcoming Zoom hours on the Facebook page, from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., and Tuesdays from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Now again, you don't have to attend all of these, and if you're unable to stay the whole time, that's fine too. We hope that you'll consider being a part of these, though, and allow us to hear from you personally, your thoughts on faith. Lastly, I just want to thank you, Faith United Methodist Church, for all that you do and all that you are. I'm so blessed to be a part of this church, and I'm so excited for this experience in this season. I look forward to asking these questions with you and getting to hear your answers. The purpose of this is not just to say, let's ask some questions and yay, we got answers. The purpose of this is to ask questions and then do something with it. Your voice can have a change in the church. Your thoughts matter to the church. So I thank you for being a part of this congregational study. I thank you for being a part of this church. And I thank you for giving me an opportunity to be part of this church with you. I hope that you'll consider being a part of the Zoom sessions and the survey, or feel free to give me a call if you're not comfortable with those.